Hello guys, welcome back to another BeamNG Drive mod showcase and welcome back to K-Pro Gaming. Alright, so today we got these mind-blowing mods and these things are actually available for free. You guys can easily check it out. I will linking it in the description. By the way, these things are related to off-road section as well as these things are based on real-life vehicles. So yeah, before going on to talking about these mods and seeing how amazing these things are, I just want to point out, if you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because most of the time we cover up these type of videos like top 10 series of the month, top 10 BMW mods, top 10 maps, and top 10 best mods to improve gameplay experience on BeamNG Drive, and many tutorials as well. So if you guys are new to BeamNG Drive, just go and check out my channel. You guys might like what there's gonna be. Alright guys, I think that's it. So let's move on to see how good these mods are. Alright guys, as our first mod we have the
Jason Scherer.
Anyway, we have the Jason's 2025 KOH off-roading monster. So yes, this thing is actually based on a real life vehicle. As you guys can see here, I will be adding some pictures of the real life vehicle. It is 1-to-1 mod of this vehicle, and actually this is created by the creator known as Thomas Goody and a collaboration between the BDR underscore guy. So yes, both of these guys spent like 600 hours to make this perfect mod. And as I know, Thomas Goody has some experience with some amazing off-roading, building some amazing off-roading vehicles. Alright guys, so as you guys can see here, I have ripped open all the panels so you guys can easily see the tubework chassis, and you guys can also see how smooth is the suspension. Basically this thing is a work of art, and I can easily understand why they spent 600 hours on fine-tuning this mod. You guys can easily see how smooth is the suspension. So right here I'm driving in very rough terrain in Johnson Valley, but this thing doesn't move like any other vehicles. Basically I'm saying this is one of the best off-roading mod I have ever seen on BeamNG Drive. So yeah, now let's see how this thing is, how good this thing is to drive around, and how good is the crash physics for this one. Alright guys, so let's take this bad boy out for a spin and let's see how good is the handling and how good is the suspension is. So yes, first of all, I just want to point out this is a GetBen 4400 Ultra 4 Series truck, and this is the driver of this truck is Jason Scherer. So yeah, I'm really happy to see this type of real life vehicles, and the best thing, I think this is the best thing apart from the suspension setup, this thing has custom soundtracks. Just check this out. See, this thing sounds like a chopped V8. I don't know if it's chopped or not, but this thing can handle Johnson Valley like nothing. So yeah, let's go for a spin. Alright, so you guys might ask, what is KOH? So most of you guys might know, but some of you guys might not know about this. KOH is the King of the Hammers series, and it is the very hardest off-roading challenge I have ever seen. As I know, it happens every year, and this vehicle is the Jason Sears 2025 series livery, and you guys can easily see this thing looks really nice. And compared to the hardness of this challenge, everyone built very tough and very technical vehicles for this. And yeah, these things can handle, I think, any terrain very easily. As you guys can easily see, even in the game, this thing destroy the competition. Oh come on. All right, I need to be familiar with the suspension setup because I'm a little bit familiar with the drifting suspension works, as well as the what is called the normal street racing suspension setup. Alright, let's try out the dunes. We have done some little bit of damage. Not gonna lie, the crash model is really good too. Alright. Holy shit, this thing handles the dunes like nothing. Just check this out. I'm not doing too much. Oh, that's a flip, that's a flip. By the way, this thing's built like a tank, not gonna lie. The only weak spot I see is the connection to the tires. If you guys land it wrong, definitely gonna break it. And I think even in the real life vehicle, that's gonna be a very major weak point to these vehicles. Right. Oh shit, this thing is very smooth to handle. Alright. Alright. So personally, this is the best off-road mod I have ever tried. Not just because of the details, I really admire the details, it handles really nice too. And we have done some damage to the roller gauge as well as the tube chassis, you guys can easily see. But we are not going to stop right here, we are going to go to the west coast and do some crash testing. But before going on to that, this is a 10 out of 10 mod. I wish there was somewhat modification, like not real life modification, like parts we could add. Otherwise this is a 10 out of 10 mod. I'm not worried about the interactive items, I don't need them. I'm not playing through VR or anything like that, but again, one-to-one, very nicely detailed mod, and I can easily understand why they spent 600 hours on building this. So yeah, let's move on to the Johnson Valley. No, not Johnson. Every time I fuck up something in one of these videos. Let's move on to the West Coast USA, and let's see how good is the crash model on this. Alright guys, so now it's time to crash test the Ultra 4 series truck, and I'm pretty much sure this thing is gonna handle the crash very well, and this thing is going to be a tank comparing to any other vehicles on BeamNG Drive, comparing to the vanilla vehicles as well as mod vehicles. So yeah, let's see how good is this thing handling the crash. You guys know where we are and what's gonna happen if you guys just watching my videos recently. Anyway, let's see how this thing handles the crash. Alright, I'm planning on keeping it around 100 miles per hour, 90 to 100 miles per hour. Alright, this thing handles the jumps very nicely. Alright, we reach 100 miles per hour. Oh my god, guys, that's a direct impact at 100 miles per hour. Any other vehicle would be obliterated by that, but you guys can easily see there is still space in the cockpit area. It's just bent inward thanks to being a direct what is called face-to-face or the direct contact with these pillars right here. So we broke the suspension, the tube chassis work is bent, but the rear section is looking really good. Even the engine is working because it's a mid-mounted engine. You guys can see the engine, can you? I think. Anyway, not gonna lie, very impressed with the ability to handle these type of crashes, and yeah, this thing is very nice. Alright, now it's time to move on to the SPM EPEX. That is something else. So yeah, let's see how good that mod is. Alright guys, so as our second vehicle we got the Superpowers Mobility EPEX, or otherwise SPM EPEX. This is a very high performance electric UTV, and the funny thing is the creator of this mod is actually the SPM, the Superpowers Mobility, and they did a collaboration with Tom from RCC, so that means this is going to be a really nice mod. By the way, you guys can easily see it is very spec down to one-to-one mod of a real life car, and you guys can easily see the electric powered motor right here. Once everything is ripped down to the tube chassis as well, right here you guys can see the underneath of this mod, and you guys can easily see the battery pack as well. So yes, very basic interior. This thing comes with only two configurations, and you guys can see the steering wheel and the speedometer. That's only it. But the funny thing is, this thing has really nice suspension, just like the vehicle that we talked about previously. And this thing is also very capable of handling the rough terrain, but not fast as the car from the KOH. But this thing do the job, and you guys can easily see the bare bone chassis handling through the desert of Johnson Valley. So yeah, this thing is actually fun to drive, but a little bit slower, and its class, this thing is very powerful, but not comparing to the KOH standards. So yeah, the power figures are, this thing comes up with 166 horsepower and torque is 169 pound-feet of torque. The battery comes up with 10 kilowatt hour battery as well as a 20 kilowatt hour battery, ranging from 25 to 55 miles. So that is basically it for this mod, and let's check out how good is the driving experience as well as the crash model on this mod. Alright, now it's time to check out the SPM EPEX, and let's take this bad boy for a spin. Again, not like the Ultra 4, very quiet because it's electric, to be honest. You guys can easily see there's a cooling system, and you guys can easily see the electric motor right here. There should be the batteries. Alright, let's test this boy out, and alright. I can hear the electric motors. It's not gonna be dead silent, so that's a good thing. Alright, not fast like the Ultra 4, but again, compared to that thing is just made for the KOH. This thing is very nice to drive. The suspension is really nice, it's doing its things. You guys can easily see the suspension is working. So, oh fuck. Alright, now let's check out the interior camera as well. I really like the interior camera of BeamNG Drive because that thing gives some sensation of like driving fast like this. Now it's time to check out some dunes. Alright, I'm not pretty sure about this thing handling the dunes because that thing, the Ultra 4 series truck, was just built for that. Alright, this is just a UTV, just keep on mind, and it's electric. Oh shit. Alright, the steering, I'm not handling the steering, it's just turning here and there, thanks the torque steering as well as the rough jumps here and there. Alright, not gonna lie, for now I'm just impressed with the handling of this one as well. Alright, somewhat slow. I wish this thing was a little bit faster. Alright, yeah, I'm going uphill. Can we land this? Oh, there's nothing to land. Alright, I'm trying to reach that dune right there. Let's see, can we do a massive jump or are we gonna slow down? Alright, okay. Not gonna lie, little bit disappointed with the speed, but again, these things are just made to compare with the real life vehicles. By the way, this thing comes up with two different configuration. One is the original SPM, it's this one, and the other one is the tactical concept. It has like half doors or something like that, and it is military green. So yeah, that's that. And I guess this is actually not really bad mod. This thing handles really nice. Only issue is it's being a little bit slow. For now, I'm gonna go to West Coast USA and crash this to see how good is the crash model. Alright guys, now it's time to crash test the SPM EPEX, and I'm pretty much sure this thing isn't gonna go that fast as the Ultra 4 series truck. So yes, let's see how good is the crash model on this one. Alright, now we are reaching 50 miles per hour. I'm pretty much sure there is a speed limit on this one. Alright, barely making 60. Back to 55 and 58. Come on. Come on, can we reach 60 at the end of this crash? Nope, 55. Alright. Okay. By the look of it, it handled the crash very nicely, but comparing to the Ultra 4 series truck, that thing had the same amount of crash and a little bit of a dent to the invert at 100 miles per hour. So yeah, this thing is also not bad. The crash model is really nice, to be honest. You guys can easily see like this. Oh, by the way, this thing has two interactable doors. That's the only interactable thing I have ever seen on this one. Yeah, that's that. Can we drive this thing? I still can, because that's a fucking electric electric UTV. And yeah, the front end is gone, basically nothing left. All right, I think that's it for the EPEX as well. So yeah, and that's it for the today's video as well. By the way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because we cover up mods like this not once in a while. Like I'm planning on covering up 3 videos per week, but at the moment I'm only covering up 1 to 2 videos per week. So yeah, as you guys can see, I do this type of mod showcases most of the time, top 10 series, and other times like 2 or singular mods showcasing how good these mods are. And by the way, I have a bunch of different tutorials if you guys are new to BeamNG Drive, and also I have different type of content like BeamMP if you guys are into content that I make, like BeamMP challenges, BeamMP road trips, as well as role playing in BeamMP. By the way, I just want to point out, I ask you guys what should I try for a new game, and I point out that we are planning on doing what is called the Drive Beyond Horizon. As I remembered, what is called the Asset Crosser. Then I ask you guys what is called the Euro Truck, no, not Euro Truck, American Truck Simulator, as well as I asked another game. I can't remember what that should be. Let me press. Oh, Need for Speed Unbound. So by the look of it, most of you guys like the Asset Crosser and the American Truck Simulator, as well as Drive Beyond Horizon. I know I'm a little bit sorry about this. I'm a little bit late for all of these games, but I'm planning on covering up the Drive Beyond Horizon, American Truck Simulator, as well as Assetto Corsa. I'm really new to Assetto Corsa. I only have like few mods I have driven, and I don't have a sim racing setup or a steering wheel setup for gameplay experience. But I'm planning on making videos, so I'm planning on making 3 different videos for 3 different games, and I will be picking a game through looking at the likes and interaction from you guys. All right, that's it. And again, I just want to tell you guys thank you so much for joining in and watching this video. Hope you guys enjoy these mods as well as this video. See you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out. Bye bye.